Hello, good morning, guys. So, we're going to continue about the running configuration we have inbuilt module. So, let's start code and have this. This is for standard config backup or running backup. This is for running. Okay. Then, accordingly, we're going to create our backup. So, I'm going to start my play and I'm going to close my play. This is so I'm going to define the name to my play. So name is prepare for backup. Okay, so now then we have hosts. So host we have already defined rx and then gather facts. We have to disable this is false we know, and then connection going to help us with the inventory file connection. So we have network CLI. Okay, till here everyone. Now I'm going to define the task. So task for standard one. So task for standard iOS. Now I'm going to give the name first to my task so that it's good practice. So I'm going to running config backup running config. So the task going to take this. So we have module iOS config, and this module have the inbuilt module say backup. Yes, that's all. Okay, so this is the our quick backup one. Okay, this I'm going to close this one. I see. Let's see what going to be happened if we're going to run this. We have not done, we just call the module iOS config module, and then within that we have enabled the backup attribute. So if we will check here ls, you can see there is no file is there called backup. There is no file called backup if you are able. So it's going to create the backup file here and they're going to save the backup, the running configuration. Okay guys, so I'm going to open another session. Okay, and here we will see later on once we run the, let's run the file. So we have Ansible Playbook. This is a playbook and I'm going to call my inventory and my play. So play is test 11 June there. That's all. Okay, what happened? Enabled automatically defined. Oh, so we have to define this host network OS type. Okay, this is the Ansible network host in inventory. I'm going to copy this. Okay, and in the Beam editor for inventory file, go for insert mode. Going to test this. This equal to my iOS. Okay, for I'm going to save this, right? And let's check quickly, do we have this inventory iOS? Now I'm going to run again. Okay, this is working. Play just started. Yes, so you can see that after this you have to understand this is for the iOS. You have to define your vendor, and once it's the Cisco one, then we can see the changes happen, and where we have saved the changes. Let's check for the inventory file. Do they have created inventory file? They have created the one inventory file. You can see backup. Earlier it was not there. Okay, let me remove this backup. I'm not sure whether we had backup file or not, so I'm going to remove recursive with the backup file, and then again I'm going to do the. Okay, now if you take ls, we don't have any backup. Okay, now I'm going to run again, and let's see whether it's creating or it's earlier it was created. Due to that they have done. So they are creating that file. You can see here we have deleted. If it's the created the backup file, backup folder here. Within the backup folder, for the backup, and we can check that have r1 means r1 r2 list. So we have r1 r2 r3 and host name followed by the r1 config, the date, and then time. Clear guys, if this part.
Yes. So Ashwin, this is only for like a running config backup, not for
Yes.
like not for OS backup or any other kernel backup or anything. Just a
No,
running
no,
config.
no customized command backup. So this is
Okay.
one for only for the running backup. This is the drawback of this. Okay, so now let's understand what are the challenge here we have in this. If you see the last time we faced the issue, we are inside that. So if are able to see the, if you see the host name, the nomenclature what they follow, you can see this is at the rate and then colon. So due to this they have to, if you will, if you do the cat, you can see this file they are taking this way, and while you are copying anything you have to take care about this. These are the challenge. So I don't want the format of my file name should be go with the plain text with the time and date. Are you understanding what I want to try to say you
Yes.
guys? Let me copy this. What I want to say you, the things what we have here, 22 2022, then underscore, sorry, colon, and then yes, colon, underscore, at the rate. These are the things I should not in the file system. While I'm going to copy, I'm going to open this file, I'm going to compare the host name. These are not a proper, means the name of file is not proper. So this is the first challenge. Second challenge, we have only the running configuration, but it's a good we have backup folder they are creating. Okay, this part is good, so we're going to follow this part one. But I want, suppose I took the multiple time this backup, I have taken multiple time this backups. I'm going to run again this backup, and after some time again I'm going to run. I have run the three times, so we have three different file with the different timeline. So you can check this. We have R13 file, then R23 file, and then R3. The challenge is here, suppose my team has done the activity, I want separate folder for R1 with the timeline. The timeline, we want each and every file having different timelines, so that they will have different host, means the nomenclature. According to that we going able, but we want a different folder for R1, then R2, then R3 within the backup folder. Do you understand why? Because if I want to compare R1, so I will go to the R1 folder and we can compare easily. Are you agree or not?
Yes.
Yes. So this is the second challenge. Now, so let's out the challenge how we going to do the backup one. So customize one, what we going to do, we going to create one folder, backup folder. Okay, that's, I'm going to take the different name, is capital name, so that is going to be differentiate from this small backup what is created by the backup. Okay, so I'm going to use my, this is the my folder. Within that, whenever I'm going to trigger for any router switches, they have to create another folder for R1, R2, R3, and this supposed to be happened only once. It's supposed to be happened only once. If they have R1 folder, they should not create another folder. Within that folder, they has to store them all the R1 configuration with the right nomenclature. This is one. And same way, the backup folder, they has to check whether backup folder is there or not. If not there, they has to create the backup. Within that, they has to create the each host name one folder, and then they has to restore the config, backup config, with the timeline. The host means the file name supposed to be the date and time. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
So let's start doing. Before going that, let's first explore the, if I want the timing, how many way we can do the date and time to the any file system. So let's understand date and time first, so that we can do the proper programming. Clear? So we have in the Linux very good features date. Can you see? This is the date, guys.
Yep.
So you are able to see the date. So if you see the how I can change the desired format of date. So there is you can use the date help command. Let me check. Yes, the help command, and on that you can see the flavor of different attribute by which you can have different, like if you're going to use this um, percentage H, capital H, this will give you hours, then I, these are the month, minutes, then these are the all the flavor you can use. If you see here something interesting, and no need to go for there's something called full date formats. So let's use this and let's see how the date going to change if I'm going to use the one of them percentage F. So just follow the date here the screen. So I'm going to follow the date and plus the format percentage, follow the capital F. So you can see the date is, if you see the compare this, if you, it's segregated with the different format this giving in this form. Are you able to see, understand what I am trying to say, guys? So
Yep.
same way, if you want to change the format, you just plus, and we can follow the help command. Let me open the help command here, and then we will do the testing for you. No need to remember this format, what are the format, just you have to clean this, and we will test for the date plus. We have another formats called minutes, month, and you can see the formats. So if I want to see the only month, you can see, and to have format time, you can see that. You want to see the time, also you can give for the time. Okay, it's added. If you add date, here is added. Go for the time. I want, this is for date. What is for time? So you can see this is for date. You can go for the date also like this if you want on this format. And for time, if we want to check, we can go for any time. Yes, this is the, so hours and this. So can do this time, and then we will keep separate from date to time. That's why I given the extra t here, just is going to append at the end so that we have delimiter. So you can see this is the time format. So we going to follow the desired hour format, but I don't want in the format, I don't want any columns or at the rate, anything like gas or something. I want plain date and then followed by the time, and some separator is given between date and time. Are you understanding what I try to say, guys?
Yeah.
So which one I supposed to use? So you can check on your PC desktop and check it out and tell me which one is more suitable. Like here is a little bit better suitable, and you can check this is for and go through this. I have already worked on that, and I have different format here. I'm going to use the format called, okay, here we took this one. I don't want this format. If you see few examples here, I have tested. So I like this because you can see, let me do this one and show you. So this will be more clear. So if you see here, they have separate date and time with the common one, second, millisecond, minutes, month. So I have done the same way. So date plus we have format for this. Copy this. Okay, I'm going to copy this, and this is, so here year, month, day, and then t is for just for, I have appended one so that they can able to segregate. You can do any word over here. Let me show you. And minute, so you can see here t is coming so that it's going to separate my date to the time. You can add this to second also, and if you go for s, it will give you the second also. Or you can reduce, instead of t you can give a or z, anything. So it's going to separator, is just for separator. Can you see that, guys? It's a clear, understand?
Yeah.
And what is our purpose? To just make my file to understand the, by looking on this I can say that which date, by looking on this I can say that what is the, what I'm going to keep this, I'm going to remove the second, is not matter. Or if you want every second the backup file supposed to be, means for one backup to another backup at least 1 minute supposed to be different, then it's a meaningful of this. Okay, and I hope there is at least you keep this. You understand, guys? If you have backup system per second wise, then you have to go for second also. Clear or not? So that your
Yeah.
file going to be generated every second different file name. Okay, if you don't want minutes is more than enough, so you can go for minutes only. So you can click, minutes will take 1 minute to change. Immediate is the change, but it will take 1 minute to generate. Okay? Okay, because today I'm testing, so I will keep the second one just for testing because it's supposed to be fine. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now let's start our code. So this is the one task. I don't want to remove this task because I want to get compare of. this task, my my own task, what we going to do the back. What is the first thing we have to do? We have to define our customized variables. What are the command? Of course, I don't want running configuration only, right, guys? Yes, no. So we have to define our variables. So we have verbs. What are the variables? So verbs, I'm going to take command. Command is my variable. What command we have? Okay. So command, we will list out our command whatsoever you want. So IP is include include. Okay. This is one command. Okay. Okay. Next command I'm going to give so clock for testing. Okay. That's all. You can add many more command. Now second variable, the path, what we want to define where to save the file. So I will give the name as a backup or anything, backup file or file. Where is the backup file will be? This is the just I'm defining the another variable. Like we have defined the variable here, we have defined the variable where you want to do your backup folder. Okay, and we're going to pass them this value as a where we have to define our the backup. So home directory I'm going to keep. Okay, and the folder will be here, guys. So in home folder, this this variable defined with this. So whenever we will call, they have to check the value. We have backup file. Okay, now first task, what we going to define? First task, right? So we going to define our the folder, whether we have folder or not. So ensure we have backup folder. So we have backup folder. This is the task. To task for that we have file module. If you remember, in file module we have to what, we have to define our path where you going to open that. So you can pass your Jinja template. So for that, let me share you the code here. We have already write the code for. You can see this is the ensure the desired folder. We going to Jinja template. We're going to path define the folder, and we're going to test one. I'm going to copy this so that I don't want to mistake. Copy this. Let's understand this. So instead of this Jinja template, we have to define this. If you see, we have already defined the backup folder. You have to define this. So what's the use of that? Here I'm going to pass my backup file name as a backup file. What we have defined the variable. So we have defined the variable, and they're going to keep on checking this folder whether it's created or not, and the state will be the directory. So that's all. This is the first, we ensure that we have backup folder. If it's not backup folder, they're going to delete that. Okay, so they are checking for this variable. Okay, you can change the name this, that's why it's going to be dynamic. So once you change this name, instead of backup you can give any name. It will keep on checking. If not there, it will create, but this is going to be done only once. Okay, Now play next task, what we have to do, we have next task within the folder. Within this folder we have to create every router one folder, for every router one folder. So just ensure that, again I'm going to create folder inventory. Let's understand what do we mean by this. I'm going to copy paste here code. If you see the same file module inside path, so instead of this backup root, we have the path new is a backup file, because we have this inventory, the variable define. Okay, why I want to create this inventory, so that I want to keep this file as a dynamic file. That's all. Then my path will be the new directory that going to be open within that backup file, whatsoever the backup file. Here in this reference we have backup. Within this folder we will create another folder which is going to be Jinja template followed by the inventory host name. Again, this is a super dynamic as per our inventory, and that going to be created directly. Okay, now this task is over. Now we have next task for the time span. Okay, next task for the time span. So let's create this timestamp. So we have next task for the timestamp, but I don't want this flavor. I want, so year, and then month, and then date, followed by the t time. No, I don't want. I want the hour, and then minutes to remember. This is the times. And if you remember that there is called command, because this is Linux command. So we will call the command module direct, and we will save in timestamp. So what is the register name? Timestamp for the time. This date followed by this format they will store into the timestamp. Okay, and these are the backup file. Okay, now what is the next? Once you have done, so I'm going to do next auto print. Let's understand this is, I have done very carefully. I have written over here, so that later on you going to explore this. First you understand this code. So we already have familiar with the save customize output. If you see the content, my customized standard lines, from where we are taking customized, have we defined any customize? No, we have not defined yet. So we have to define one customize command, iOS command. This is the our customize, and you can define anywhere. I give this here, or after your backup, what you have is standard backup. So you have customized command, the customized command list from here. So you have to give the variable list according to that. So I'm going to change the variable list here as a list. Otherwise, they are not identified from the Jinja template. They're going to bring this command into this, and they're going to register into the customized command CMD. So they're going to store all this command one by one on this register, and they're going to standard line print, because standard outer line prints, I want each line as the router with the nice JSON format, otherwise it will not come in the right form. So we know about this, we already discussed and have done the lab. Now major, where do we going to save this? So we have backup file, that's the inventory. Once they will check this inventory, this folder is created or not. Once the folder is created, go to the folder of the inventory file like R1, R2, R3. Then within that you have to follow the host name like R1, R2, R3 underscore timestamp register is here for everyone. Take capture this timestamp, then .txt. So this file format going to be here. Understand this part, guys. Should I test quick?
Yes,
and
we can test.
and let's check the challenge. So in the task, if you see the little big, but we have to understand here. I have one task for the default also. Okay, so I'm going to delete the folder, all the backup folder. Let's see it's working fine for us or not. So I'm going to go to the screen and let's list out the folder. Okay, we are in that. Let me delete here. So I'm going to remove. We have backup folder here. I'm going to remove that, and we don't have other backup. So this will create the backup folder again with this name, and our backup folder in the capital they will go capital later. Okay, that's going to be different. So I'm going to move this rm uh, directly. So we have to go for save one. Now let's go backup folder. Okay, so let's run this file. So accordingly we're going to move. You can see the first task is okay, is working fine. Customize pre-post task, this is defined by us. They ensure we have backup folder. So they have created backup folder. Ensure the device folder created inside that. They created other folder. Let's see, we will check that, and then we will check timestamp. Let's check it out what happened. So I'm going to check. So we have backup. This is the standard module. This backup from our side, our customized code. So let's quickly check what are the things happen. That the backup folder we will list out. You can see this backup folder they have created the standard one. What about our customized one, the desired one we are able to get or not? So you can see your host, the file is coming R1, the folder they created R1, R2, R3, right? We expected to open the folder. Within R1 folder, we need the file, right? Let's check it. We can see that our host name, the different format. Can you see that? How do we resolve this? Are you able to see? This is the
Yep.
format they given. The format, this is the good, but they have given this format. How do you resolve this? And check it out. Let me see if I'm able to this at cat app folder R1. Within R1 have use this. They are taking capturing the my automated command, customized command. That's okay in the alignment, but the folder name not pro. So what we have to do manner changing. Instead of this, you have to define in underscore to resolve my. I'm going to run again this code. Find one. I'm going to stop the video because I think this video going to be long. Discuss about this and in the upcoming classes what the output we are able to resolve the output or not, what we are expecting. Okay, see you in next class, guys. Going to continue the topic from the same point. Bye bye.